5 is a finance problem. I just want to make sure you guys remember how to use your finance calculator to do a bunch of different things. So, start with the first part. We're talking about Jen, who's investing $2,400 in a savings account that pays 4% per year. So, what you need to do is you need to click on Apps on your calculator, go to Finance, and then there should be an option for TVM Solver, right? So, you need to be here. The N is the period. It's usually however many times is compounded times the number of years. In this case, it's compounded annually. So it would be like once per year, and she's keeping it in there for 10 years. So 1 times 10 in this case, which is just 10, right? The I percent is the interest rate. You can just put it as a regular percent. You don't need to convert it to a decimal. And what we have is the present value. I'm going to put it as negative 2,400 because she's paying $2,400 into her account. PMT is payment. She's not making payments. She's just leaving it in there. And what we're curious about is the future value. We don't need to worry about any of these because there's no payments being made and she's only compounding it once. Right? So once we're ready for this, we're trying to figure out the future value. So we're going to do, say, alpha solve. And we figure out that after 10 years, her account is worth 3,552. 3,552.5859, and I'm rounding to two decimal hundredths place because we're talking about money, which is always rounded to 2 decimal places. Then we get onto the part that says the rate of inflation during this 10-year period is 1.5% per year, which means that the cost of goods and stuff goes up by 1.5% every year, which makes your money less valuable, right? It makes things cost more. Therefore, $3,000 doesn't buy as much in 10 years as it used to. The easiest way to calculate the real value of your savings would be to just take, instead of her really making 4%, she's actually making 4 minus 1.5. She's really making 2.5%, right? So the easiest way to do this would be to go up here, change this to 2.5. And then go down here and say alpha solve. And so the real value of our money is $3,072.20. That would be the best way to do it. Another way to do it would be, okay, the other way to think about it is just imagine that, I don't know, let's say, leave it over here, let's say a can of Coke today costs $1, right? Then 1 year from now, if the inflation is 1.5%, then this can of Coke will cost 1 times 1.05, right? Or $1.05. And then a year later, right, the next year it would cost 1 times the price that it was, 1.05 times 1.05, whatever that is, right? And so you can imagine if I do this 10 times, I'm going to end up multiplying by 1.05 to the 10th, right? So to figure out how much a dollar is worth in 10 years, you can do 1.05 to the 10th. Sorry, not 1.05, 1.15. So this is a little bit messed up. This would be 1.015 because it's 1.5%, which is 0.015, right? To the 10th power, which gives you this 1.16. So in 10 years, that can of Coke will cost $1.16, right? So what that means is if you had $100 today and you just left that in your bank, right? $100 right now buys 100 sodas. 10 years from now, $100 only buys, right? So let's say $100, and you're going to see how many sodas am I going to buy. So I divide by this number because that's how much it costs, and you're going to get 86. So 10 years from now, you can only buy 86 sodas, right? So your $100 10 years ago is really only worth $86 right now. And so what we could do here is we could take this value that we have in our account, right? And we could divide by this 1.1605, and you should get something very close to this. It might be a little bit off just because of some rounding and stuff like that, but it should be very close. And again, this came from us figuring out 1.015 to the 10th. Okay, next one is saying she's going to leave her money in her account. It's going to continue to earn 4% each year. However, now she wants to take music lessons, and so she wants to take out $200 each month. So how long will her money last, right? So we're going to go back to our financial app. And this is still 10. Okay, so in this case, we're going to put our interest rate back at 4% because we're not going to worry about inflation right now. Her present value is $3,552.59. That's how much she has in her account. We can make this negative if we want because that's, she's technically like leaving it in there. Our payment is going to be $200. I'm going to make this positive because it's going to go against this one. You can make this one positive and this one negative. It doesn't really matter. We're going to try to figure out when will the future value be 0. I'm going to change the payments per year or periods per year to 12 because this there's several options here, but I can either change this to 12 because this money is going to be, this $200 is going to be taken out 12 times per year every month, but the compounding per year is still 1 because the interest rate's only being compounded once per year. And what we want to know is we want to know how long we'll be there. Well, we want to know n, so we say alpha solve, and you end up with 18.3, right? So that's saying that her money will be there for 18.3 months, years. That seems too high. And yes, it is months because we changed this to per year. That's going to tell us months up there because we changed this to not be 1. Right, so that's 18 months. So another way you could have done this is you could have came up here, you could have made this 1, right? So it's 1 payment per year. But in that case, you'd be making 200 times 12, right? Because you're making 12 monthly payments. And then you could go up here and say alpha solve. And here you're going to get 1.55, which again, in this case is years because we made this a 1. That's at 1 per year, right? So 1.55 years. And those two are pretty much the same thing, right? Next is David wants to save the same amount as Jen after 10 years. So remember, Jen's amount is 3,552.59, but he doesn't have $2,400 right now. Instead, he wants to make equal monthly payments. How much does he need to contribute each month to have the same amount in his account, right? So again, this is going to be 10. Interest rate's still 4. Present value is still whatever Jen had. What we want to know in this case is the payment. So I'm going to leave that blank for right now. And the present value is 0. He has $0. The future value, how much he wants in his account, is 3,552.59. And then we're going to go to payment, and we're going to say how much does he have to pay, and it's going to say, oh, he has to pay $295. And again, now you got to figure out, is that 295? Is that every month or every year? And so remember down here, this is just 1, right? And these are years, so it's 1 per year. So this is contribute $295 every year, right? And the question is, he's going to make equal monthly payments, so you need to take that number and divide by 12 to figure out the monthly payment, right? So take this, divide by 12 for the monthly payment, okay? Next one is Joey has $1,000 right now, so let's just go up and do this. Right now, Joey has 1,000, so we're going to put this as negative 1,000 because he's going to put this in there. He wants to invest in the stock market. So he's not going to make any payments, right? He's just going to leave it in there, so I'm going to make the payment 0. He wants his future value to be the same, right? He wants the same as the amount of Jenny after 10 years. We're just trying to figure out how much interest does he need to earn in the stock market. So we're going to go to interest percent. We're going to say alpha solve. And so in order for his $1,000 to become the same as their money, he needs to earn 13.5% interest in the stock market, which is going to be very hard for him to do. All right, so that's that. Please reach out with more questions or if you find a mistake or something.